Hey vlog, what's up? I'm here to speak to the Veterans Entrepreneurship Program at the University of Florida. I hope you enjoy it.
He's been a driving force around the kind of renaissance here in Gainesville, Florida, our entrepreneurial renaissance. He's a force of nature, so have fun with Austin.
Thank you.
Go get it.
Appreciate it. You guys, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you guys, and thank you for serving our country and everything that you guys do. This is my father. My father was a fighter pilot in the United States Air Force. He retired as a lieutenant colonel, and he now flies for Southwest Airlines, but he was definitely a certified badass. And I know that you guys are as well. This is him. He's actually up there on the wing. I think it's one of the cool photos. This is when he flew F-111s in Desert Storm. And yeah, so like I can empathize with your families. My father was gone for an entire year that year, and I was in second grade, estimating second, maybe third. But it was definitely one of the toughest times, in my childhood, and I can definitely empathize with your family. So I'm just super grateful, for everything that you guys do, or that you have done for this country. And I'm excited that I get to give a little bit back to you guys today. So thank you so much for having me. So I'm gonna start with, who am I? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a little brief version of my story, so that way you guys have some context as to who I am and why I'm here. And then I'd really like to get into some of the questions that you guys might have, because I think that's the way I can deliver the most value to you guys. And so my name is Collin Austin. I'm the founder of a company called New Scooters for Less right here in Gainesville, Florida. We're located about a half mile north on 13th Street, just north of University Avenue. There's this thing that happens around town now that we are 15 years old. It's where people will pull out their phone when they get stuck behind a scooter and they take a picture of it and they text it to me, right? If you get stuck behind a scooter, it is probably our fault. And I just reply with my favorite emoji, which is this one, and send that to him and say, thank you. So how the heck did all this madness start? Okay, this is a real flash version of my story. I used to live off 20th Avenue right here in Gainesville, Florida. This was my room, and that was my roommate, who became my girlfriend, who became my future wife. Okay, we now have 2 kids, and these are my kids, Schaefer and Maddox. Now, funny story is, if you know anything about retail in Gainesville, in Florida, the busiest month in Gainesville would be August, when all the students come back. It is insane, right? So on August 24th, 2009, my oldest son, Schaefer, right there, was born. That was the first day of school. Okay, I told my team, I'm like, I'm so sorry. This will never happen again. Don't worry, we will plan better. It'll never happen again. And sure enough, 4 years later, on August 24th, 2013, Maddox was born. So both of my kids were born right in the middle of back to school chaos here at the University of Florida.
You gotta find something to do other than in November.
Yeah. It's the one time a month that I actually have success. One time of the year that I actually have success, right? So, but this was the bus stop right outside of that, right outside of that apartment. I used to go to this bus stop and I would wait for just, I don't want to say hours, but a long time. I'd sit there and wait for this bus to come by. The bus started over at the Oaks Mall. It would drive down 62nd, come down 20th Avenue. It'd pick up people along the way, and then it'd get to me and would say, full bus. It says legends are born in May because Friday's my birthday. Thank you. And so that bus would drive by completely full. Another thing happened during my time here at the University of Florida, and that was I went to this thing that they called Career Showcase. This is where you dress up in your suit and tie, you go around from recruiter to recruiter, and you're handing out your resume, feeling all good. You're going, oh, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And they go, Collin, so why do you want to work for us? And I go, I don't. I literally had no answer to that question, and I just really realized, I was like, what the heck am I doing here? This is not for me. So this is me walking around, fake me. I stole this picture, I don't know where it's from, but that's fake me, and I just realized that this wasn't going to be for me. So all these things, like this bus driving by, bus just driving by, I'm going to career showcase, I'm not fitting the mold of, graduate high school, go to college, get a job. Like, I'm just not fitting the mold, right? And that's when bright idea comes along. I was like, I'm going to sell scooters to help college students get to and from class at their convenience without having to wait for the bus or deal with campus parking, right? I don't know if you guys have noticed, but around the University of Florida, they do a really good job of building on the only property that they have, and that's parking lots. And I just realized that there was an opportunity for us to solve this problem, and I thought it'd be a great way of picking up chicks too. I should say women. I've gotten in trouble for saying chicks, but like when you're in college, that's a close-up. But this is what we've created today. You guys have probably seen it around, like going around UF. You've probably seen lines and lines and lines and lines and lines of scooters everywhere. And this is what's happened over 15 years of being an entrepreneur in the scooter business. 15 years ago, there were scooters, but it wasn't like it is today. They used to just have kind of the hashed areas at the end of the parking spots, and that was scooter parking. They'd put a little pole in the middle. It says scooter parking, motorcycle parking, and that was $30 to park your scooter in that spot. And back in 2004, I found out some of these statistics. There was about 500 decals sold in 2004. That's when we started. And 2017, there were 6,800 decals sold at $160 a piece. That was $15,000 in 2004 and over $1 million in 2017 on just scooter decals. I'm still waiting for my cut. But they are everywhere. And actually I hope it's okay for me to say this, we have made it okay to ride a scooter nut to butt is what they call this. What?
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's him.
Yeah, I don't know, again, photo credit to these people because I can't take credit for that photo, but.
So that's Dr. Morris randomly running across the
Is that actually him though?
He just he got right in the middle of my scooter photo. I don't know what's happening. He's caught on picture running jaywalking across University Avenue. I'll send this to you. You can show. But today we have impacted an entire culture of an entire community, and we are one of the top dealerships in the country. This was the #1 dealer plaque that we got in 2017 from Genuine Scooter Company. We also received that award last year as the #1 dealer in 2018. And that's what I want to kind of get into today, right? Because a lot of people are kind of curious as to okay, how did you do that? And how do we continue to do it? And the answer is by creating a culture around what I call the Whoa Dam. Do you guys know what a Whoa Dam is? It's an experience that makes you go, whoa, damn. All right. So, and our #1 core value at New Scooters for Less is to create and recreate the ultimate customer experience. So, this font, you guys, I think got changed from the font that's actually on my presentation. It defaulted to something else, so it looks like there's some words cut off, so I apologize for that. But I want you to ask yourself, how am I going to go around and make people think, whoa, damn? And there are 4 major keys to making people go, whoa, damn. You guys say it with me. Whoa, damn. You guys know who this is? All right, good. I'm just making sure. #1, the basics matter, okay? This is where it's important to understand that the first impression of our business in 2019 is not when somebody enters our store. It is always going to be online and via social media or via Google, and you guys, I can get this presentation to you guys as well if it's something that you'd like to have. We are recording it as well, so I'll have it up on my YouTube channel and that kind of thing, so you guys don't have to necessarily scribble a lot of notes or anything. Or you guys have slides, right? Okay, cool. But I think it's just important to realize that the first impression is, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here, but that the first impression is not when people walk into our store, it is online, right? It's on social media, it's word of mouth, it's what people are saying about us. Number 2, this is one of my favorite pieces. A lot of people ask me, they go, Collin, hey, I'm thinking about starting a business, I'm thinking about doing this, what should I do? What advice would you give me when it comes to starting off? And I always say, look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. Because that's what makes you unique. Right? This is our dealership. So when you walk into our dealership, we have bean bags everywhere. I mean, again, a lot of people are gonna go, oh, this is a millennial company with bean bags. Like I get those perceptions, but the truth is I know my audience, right? My audience is college students. 95% of the people that we sell to are college students. So we have gone out of our way to create an experience that is gonna cater to the college student. So this is our showroom. We have bean bags, fun games, definitely a relaxing environment. The first time that a student had walked in and sat down in the bean bags, and one of my team members went up there and said, hey, can I help you? And they go, no, we're just here to study. I was like, but do you have a scooter? Do you need a service? No, we're really just here to study. And I think a lot of people might look at that as negative, but I looked at that as an extreme positive. We had created an environment that people wanted to be in. And so this is another, we have like the chalkboard wall. This is like this is our guest wall. We have, anybody can come in and sign the guest wall. This is our dealership. I think presentation is super important, clean. I also understand the perception of the students' parents, because the parents are the ones that are typically spending the money. So you walk into a service dealership that looks like this. There's not a lot of dealerships in the country that look like that. It is spotless. It is pristine. You could eat off our floors. Another thing that we do that I think is super unique. You ever go to a coffee place and buy 10 coffees, get one free, get a little punch card, hey, rewards. Frequent miles, like all that kind of stuff. Like this is reward cards and stuff are good, but we just decided that we were going to take it up to a different level, right? And again, kind of cater to the college student. So what we have is a prize center. You ever go to the arcade? You spit out tickets. You get to claim a prize. It's very much the same thing. Instead, when you walk into our service department, instead of having like oils and stuff to buy, we have a huge prize wall. And what happens is when you come to us for service, based on the amount of service that you have with us, we literally give you tickets. And you can either choose to use those tickets on future service, or you can claim one of the prizes. You'd actually be surprised at how often people claim the prizes. I would actually say the candy goes first, something about college students and candy, but this was one of the things that we had done. It's super unique, and I can say that there's not another scooter dealership in the country that has a prize wall. There it is again. And then another thing that we like to do during back to school time, anything that we can do to provide extra value to our customers, right? So hey, it's back to school mode. They're coming in, they're buying a scooter. We have what we call our swag bag, and we'll load it with pins and all sorts of goodies for school. Just another thing that we do. Anytime we sell a scooter, and actually this is actually amped up in the last few months. I've been super impressed with my team. But anytime we sell a scooter, we have this giant bell. You ring the bell, ding, 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 ding. The whole team comes out to the mats right there in the service department. Customer gets on the thing. We go 3, 2, 1, whiskey, and we take a big picture with the customer. Now there's all sorts of different things where the customer actually will spin like a lottery wheel. An option pops up, a little ball comes out, and based on what that ball says is the celebration that you actually experience. There's ones where they're throwing money, and it's crazy. But it's, again, creating an experience that's unique for that customer. I feel like we're winning when we make the customer feel like it is their birthday when they come in and purchase a scooter that day. This is another thing that you will see if you are in Gainesville long enough, is balloons on scooters. This is actually something that came out of what we call we actually had a culture committee, right? And what this was a volunteer group of team members where we would get together once a month and we would say, hey, let's get together, let's talk about how we can continue to make the customer experience even greater, right? So team members would come together and we would talk about ideas. And this is one that came out of them, and I'll be the first to tell you that I was not like, all right, let's go. I was the one who was kind of like, yeah, sure. But what they decided to do was like, hey, when we sell a scooter, we'll put a balloon on it, we'll fill it up, we'll get a helium tank, fill up the balloons, and what we'll do is we will like write on them and we'll say, thank you for buying your scooter from us. It's like our version of a thank you card, right? And then in this case, where these scooters, they were about to be delivered to the customer, so all the scooters have a little seat compartment. So we would tuck the balloon down inside the seat compartment. Customer gets their scooter gets delivered, they open it, it's tied to the back rack like you see there, balloon comes out, it's signed by the entire team and says thank you for buying your scooter from us. And it has definitely been one of those things that has stuck around. And now we do things a little bit differently. Like sometimes it's not like a balloon on every single scooter like it was in that particular year. But there's, and I'll show you in a second some of the unique things that we continue to do with balloons. And point number 3 would be to always, always, always take it up a notch, is what that says, a notch. And this kind of goes to a principle that I love that's called the 212-degree principle. Has anybody heard of this before? Okay, so at 211 degrees, you have really, really, really hot water. But at 212 degrees, that's when that water starts to boil, and that creates steam. Boiling water creates steam, and steam can power a locomotive. And it's one of the principles that has stuck with me so much because it's that 1 degree of difference that can make an entire world of difference. So the 212-degree principle, always find out ways to take it up 1 notch. This is one of the ways it's doing it, kind of going back to balloons. This is on Valentine's Day. So we load up a truck, our helium tank, and a bunch of balloons, and we go all over campus. This is one of the parking areas on campus. We fill out balloons, put Happy Valentine's Day, leave Valentines on the scooters, and that way when the customers come back, and this is only on NS4L scooters, New Scooters for Less scooters. This is what happens. People get on social. NS4L is all the chatter on campus, totally making people's day brilliant. And then this is from somebody else's social media. This is like one of their Instagram stories or something. They said, it felt like I was playing real life Mario Kart scooting with this balloon, and it's making me feel the love today. Yes, candy was attached. My favorite thing about this photo is that there's like the New Scooters for Less scooter with all the love, and then there's like the competitor scooter with no love. And then that brings me to point number 4, which is don't be too big for your britches. It's something my mom taught me when I was a little kid. Don't be too big for your britches. And what this means is, it's funny, I constantly will sit down with business owners and they'll tell me, especially now I have a media agency, and I'm happy to talk about that for a little bit as well. But, one of the things that I constantly see is business owners forget what made them so special in the beginning, right? What happens is you guys create a company, you start to grow, that company grows, you get more customers, and they go, and I actually had a company tell me one time, oh, you know what, like every time we got a new client, we would give them a pie as a thank you. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, so what happened? Oh, well, we just got, we got too busy. There's not enough time. And I'm like, yeah, but what if you could continue to get those new customers and still deliver the pie? Like if you could still do that, that's what made you special in the beginning. And a lot of people start to outgrow those things. To this very day, we still do handwritten thank you cards to every customer that buys a scooter from us. And this is actually kind of a side benefit, talking a little bit about social media. These pictures are coming from customers who receive it and post it on their social. Like this is from a young lady who posted up there. She posted the card. We actually include like a little Polaroid, that same group picture. We include a little Polaroid in the thank you card. and send that with it. And then she posted it up on her social and tagged us. That's like extra love, that's extra marketing for us. You know, that's not why we do it. We do it as a sincere thank you, but it's still nice to get that little extra benefit. Here's another thing. This is my business card. I don't know if you guys will know what this is. Anybody know what this is? All right, you guys are impressing me. This is a Snapchat. This is my Snapchat business card. So I literally give this to people when they're like students buying a scooter. I'll be honest, a lot of parents don't know what it is. I hand them this card and I go, hey, if you ever need to reach out to me, this goes directly to me. If you ever have a question, you can snap me. I'll be able to answer it. You know, a lot of the students, they'll pull out their phone, like, hey, scooter's making a funny noise. They'll do a little, hey, Collin, scooter's making a little funny noise. They'll get up underneath the scooter, take a 10-second snap, and they'll send it directly to me. And that might be at 10 o'clock at night. And if I'm available, then I'll definitely answer it, or I'll get to it as soon as I can. But those are the things, I've made myself accessible as a business owner, and this is one of the ways we've been able to fuel it, is like really treating social media as customer service. That's definitely one of the ways we've been able to win, is using social media platforms as customer service platforms. And you guys, this is like a lot of the talks and a lot of the content that we create. Just so you guys know, if you go to nsforall.tv, you'll find a lot of our videos. Here's like a whole video from like the day that we went out to campus and put balloons on scooters and that kind of thing. There's a lot of really interesting content on our channel. And I'm gonna get to answering questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions, but this is my contact information. Definitely reach out to me. I definitely want to do anything I can to help you guys. I'm very accessible. You can reach out to me anytime. That's my email there at the bottom. This is from my new company, which is called Repaint The Wall, which is a digital media unagency, as we call it. And that's really it. Any questions?
Super cool culture.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
I have a question. Brilliant. First of all, kudos to you for the hard work. This feels a lot to me like the Apple of Gainesville, right? Kind of saw a problem, fixed the problem, kind of created this need and this kind of trend to have it now, right? And like now it's a cool thing for kids to have a scooter on campus, which is like revolutionary, right? Kind of like an Apple thing, right? So being very disruptive. And then so carrying the theme, Apple comes out with a smartphone, Samsung comes out with something, right? And the next one, now smartphones become a commodity.
I think you said that backwards, sir.
What's that?
Go ahead.
And so and as you look at what's happening in other cities, right, with scooters that are, you know, they kind of Uber for scooters and all these other things, bikes, people leave them, and the companies just show up in a city and then drop them and
Yeah.
leave. You know, there's no relationship there other than their name that's carried around the country.
Sure.
How are you all strategically hedging to combat that?
By educating ourselves as much as possible on the subject, right? I will be honest, like I heard about Bird, Lime, like, heard of like when they first launched. I'm saying when they first launched, we're talking like early 2018, you know? And I think this is important to understand too. There's, in business, and I struggle with this with a lot of the college students specifically, is that they really get hung up on the unicorns.
Yep.
You know, in business, Facebook is a unicorn. You know, Uber is a unicorn. Like we really give a lot of attention to these unicorns. And Bird is a unicorn. Yet, it's not profitable. These companies launched, they raised a bunch of money, right? Now they have like $2 billion, you go from January 2018 to August 2018 and have a $2 billion valuation after 8 months. It's like ridiculous. So for me, all I can do is really educate myself, right? I could either get into the space, which we've looked at doing. We can look at selling the products, which we have looked at doing. We've actually contacted Bird. Hey, could we be the platform for like here in Gainesville, the service center, your people on the ground running this here in Gainesville. We've explored that option. So there's plenty of things that we've explored. We haven't done anything yet. And a lot of it, the one thing that I do to keep myself educated is I have like Google, oh God, what's it called? Google tag. But basically, you can go into Google, and when people search for specific words, it'll send you an email. So like anytime bird or like scooters or my name, Collin Austin, anything like that gets mentioned, I get an email about it. So I'm getting those emails every day. So I'm constantly going in, looking at what people are saying, looking at what customers are saying, hearing about the headaches, hearing about them getting thrown in ponds. Is that something that I want to invest in? As of today, the answer is no. But will that change? Who knows?
Look, on something, you said something there that I think is brilliant. You said you reached out to Bird, who is a competitor. I mean, well, would be a competitor, most likely, right? I mean, it would.
Well, I mean, that's not a scooter that we sell or that we're.
To them and finding ways to collaborate with them is an interesting topic. And stuff. Can you talk a little bit about the way you come up with that? Because if I'm a business owner and I'm scooters, of course, I don't mind the business, but if someone else comes to town, kind of like focusing on my thing, get my product out, do my thing. You took a step back and you pivoted and said, wait a second, this is going to be disruptive in some way, affect us some way. Let's see how we can work together. Can you talk a little bit about what you do?
Yeah, I mean, so again, kind of like having the awareness of being to know, I guess with the Google stuff, like when I got the email, Bird had made an announcement that they were going to make their platform available as in kind of like a franchise type format where you could like make the platform yours, use it, you buy the scooters, you get the platform, and you execute it within a territory, right? But they're getting a cut, right? So as soon as I had heard that was an option, we reached out, set a phone call. You can set up phone call meetings, discuss it, find a little bit more about what's involved. My biggest thing is like, I mean, well, this is a college town. Do I think college kids are going to take care of these things? I think, I'm like, if I'm going to invest and buy 100 of these scooters, like, how long are they going to last? And from there, they don't really know because they're so new. They don't know. Like some of them are getting thrown in ponds and they're done, or getting lost or stolen, like whatever. So I mean, that was, yes, being aware that it is disruptive and just making an effort to further educate myself is all that I can do. And do I think it's going to hurt us in the grand scheme of things? I think it could cut into some market share, but I definitely think there's a place for, like, no one's going to take that type of scooter 5 miles across town, or like if you live further off campus, if they allow them on campus, that's going to be interesting because maybe the people who were buying our type of scooters in dorms might not necessarily do that now if they only need to zip across campus, right? So there are things that we are looking at and considering, making sure that we're well educated on, and we'll just have to continue to do so. But yeah, it is interesting. I mean, that's a good business lesson in general, guys. Like, you either evolve or you die. Straight up. So like, if we have to be super aware and evolve and go with it and somehow get into it or learn, like whatever. But I mean, if they come in and college students are now like, oh, we just want to ride these, then we would die. Right? So we have to be at least aware of that. And I think in some ways we are, because this isn't the reason why I started another company, but I like the fact that now I have more than one company, which is, it's a media agency, and the ability to, have revenue coming in from some other place is good in the event that something were to happen, right? Yes, sir.
So I've always learned that culture eats up vision. You can have the greatest vision in the world, but if you don't have the culture there. And so how did you develop this culture with your staff? How long did it take? Because it seems like it's really unique and it's
Guys, culture is the lifeblood of the organization. There's nothing more important than your company culture. And that just comes by hiring the right people. And when you realize that you haven't hired the right person, getting them out of the company as quickly as possible. I mean, for us, it's fine. I originally started by hiring people who had the same values that I have, right? Like, treat other people the way you want to be treated, and like, I'm super kind, and I want to serve others, and so finding people who had the same values as I had was step one. And then really, after a few years, we really started laying down and writing those values out. And so like, we knew that customer service was number one for us. And so that's why we made core value number 1, create and recreate the UCE, the ultimate customer experience. We knew that that was going to be the forefront of everything that we do. You know, core value number 2, stay calm and scoot on. You know, hey, like, just realize that this is a business. You're going to have upset customers. There's going to be things that happen. Your world's going to get flipped upside down sometimes, but you have got to stay calm and scoot on. Core value number 3, don't believe the hype. You know, that's our way of saying remain humble. You know, we get a lot of customers that go around and they go, yo, you guys are awesome. You guys are great. You know, thank you so much. And it's easy to let that go to your head. I tell my team, no. Customers don't thank us. We thank them. Right? So, and then we have 12 complete core value number 12 is if you're late to work, you better bring breakfast. So, you know, and that's how we've created, right? Through these values and making sure that our team understands how important these values are to our success as an organization. And you know, like when you build a culture around core values, then you're going to do it right, because if somebody doesn't fit those values, then they're going to weed themselves, you know, they're going to weed themselves out, and you're going to get them out of your team. But focusing on culture is number 1 always. Yes, sir.
Something to that?
Yes.
So my first interaction with you, Collin, you might not remember this, but it was like 2014 or 15. We launched a program here called Gator 100, which is a program that honors the 100 fastest growing Gator owner-led businesses, and Collin was on the list the first year we launched it. And he called me and said, hey, Michelle, I want to buy 2 tables at the event. And I was like, all right, that's okay, you can do that. He said, I want to shut down my dealership and bring my entire team, because that's why we're here. So you were probably the only person that really did that. He said, I'm bringing everybody, you can be there, and we're going to celebrate. So
Well, I think it's,
up to me.
you know, they're the reason, right? They're the reason why we made the top 100 fastest growing companies, Gator-led companies in the nation, was because of them. So how can, you know, they have to be there to like celebrate that. So absolutely.
You guys will all be on the list in 5 years.
Yes.
So you and I kind of share the two-wheel relationship. And we kind of had that legal thing today. Because of that, have you experienced any backlash from an accident? Do they come to you because you're the popular man, that's where you bought it? I'm also in the motorcycle niche.
You want to know the biggest?
It's totally different than what you're doing, but
I mean, I think it's very similar. I mean, when we sell, like we have a 400cc motorcycle that we sell. So I mean, so I'm familiar, yeah. And like the laws, there's a lot of gray area with some of the laws, especially Florida laws when it comes to scooter, motorcycle, that kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, the biggest backlash is when a football player breaks their leg because they fell off a scooter. You want to see some backlash? Like this team,
no lawsuits or anything. Nobody blame you. My business is Asphalt and Iron, the ultimate social network for bikers. So it's a social network for bikers larger than 400 cc's.
Yeah.
And my concern is, and I brought this up earlier, is we'll host rides from Orlando to Crystal River. And my concern is growing that the liability. Is somebody gonna, and it's not so much now because we're small, but I'm still fearful because two-wheeled vehicles are a little more dangerous.
Yeah.
So I was just curious to know if that is, because it would help me to know that if you've not really experienced a lot of that sets me a little bit.
So the answer is no, I haven't experienced a lot of it. Have I experienced it? Yes. Now, like most of it comes, we had a girl who bought a scooter and she totaled it the first night, and she immediately blamed the scooter.
Right.
Right. Like no, she drove it into a wall because she doesn't know what she's doing. Like that's completely different. And she said the brakes don't work. Well, if you're pulling both brakes on a scooter or a motorcycle, or you got one goes to the front wheel, one goes to the back wheel. At least on the 49cc scooter we were selling. So like, you're pulling the brakes, you're definitely stopping. And we tested all that. We had her, we go through a list saying they understand how it works, and but that's what we have insurance for, right? So like we had to have the insurance, call the insurance make a claim. Their attorneys handled it. I don't even, to be honest, I don't even remember what ended up happening. I'm sure they ended up settling it. But that was really the only time that I remember, and that was years ago. Interestingly, like, people come to our scooter dealership and expect us to teach them how to ride a scooter.
So you do not do that?
So we do, because I care about the safety of my customers, but you guys are going to laugh at this. We rode bicycles as kids.
Right.
It's a tech age. These kids are growing up on tablets. They're growing up behind screens, and not all of them are riding bicycles. And now they walk into a scooter shop and they buy a scooter. Like we used to 10 years ago spend 15 minutes showing somebody, hey, this is how the buttons work, boom, boom, boom. All right, good, you go, boom, they're gone. They'll be gone in 15 minutes. Sometimes we got to spend an hour teaching somebody how to ride a scooter because we don't feel comfortable enough letting them drive off the lot. Because, you know what I mean? And of course, we have great relationships with the motorcycle courses here in town. So if we know somebody needs additional help, like, hey, you need to go here. But it's like, a lot of parents will be like, oh, I can't believe you didn't, spend more time with my kid. Like, hey, last time you went to go buy a car, did they teach you how to drive the car? It's like, it's just, so we definitely spend a lot more time than we should teaching those customers, because we don't charge anything for that. Maybe that's a whole nother debate. But
I love that, and I love you because you're feeding the future motorcycle community. I want to get with your CEO.
Yeah.
And discuss it.
Yeah, I mean, and they do, right? They take those steps. So, yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to me. Like, I'm constantly looking at those perceptions too and trying to understand. For me, I'm a big risk taker. If I'm like, oh, let's put together a 5,000 motorcycle scooter rally ride across, like, I'm game. I'm not gonna let the liability or the risk keep me from doing it. I'm gonna do it. So, yes, sir.
Can you talk about a little bit about the political challenges that you had to face during this evolution, changing the culture? Obviously, there had to be infrastructure changes aboard the campus with so many school spaces, so many things that you think attributed to the challenge that you would have to face. How did you navigate those?
Yeah, you know what's interesting is a lot of people we really haven't had a lot to do with it. Besides selling more and more scooters and the University of Florida going, oh shit, we got to do something about this. They've really gotten to the point where they're like, all right, we got to make more parking. Like I said, those hashed blocks and stuff, that changed all on its own. And the reason being is because if this were a hashed parking area, in 2004, there would be a sign right here in the middle that says scooter parking, and there'd be 3 scooters. We started selling more. These hash blocks were starting to get completely full with scooters crisscross. If your scooter was right here in the middle, you got to move 10 other scooters to get your scooter out. The University of Florida goes, oh, this isn't going to work. People are complaining about their scooters getting damaged or whatever, and then these scooter parking slots started to show up, where now they have little arrows and you literally pull in one way and you pull into these little scooter slots, and that kind of changed on its own. The advantage for me, and the one thing that I think that I did really well via Snapchat and some of these other areas, was I befriended everybody who was in student government. So all these college kids who were customers, they'd send me a snap, yo, look, Collin, more scooter parking is coming, it's on the agenda at student government. So constantly, everything is building relationships. I mean, I definitely built relationships, stayed in touch with I think Scott Fox. I met with him a long time ago. He was, I don't know his title, but at the University of Florida Transportation and Parking Office. But I sat down with him and I said, look, I wanted to sit down with you because I just want you to understand that New Scooters for Less is here to be a part of the solution, not part of the problem. So like if there's anything that ever comes up or you guys need help with anything, like let me know. Same thing, we started engaging with the University of Florida Police Department a lot on social media, and wanted to cultivate and build a relationship there. And now they say, hey Collin, like, you know, can you donate helmets to us? Yes. Like here's helmets. So, and it's hard. That's one of the challenges that we've had is getting the college students to wear helmets. But one of the things that happens is, hey, a student gets into a little fender bender or something like that, enough to scare them, right? UPD like pulls out a helmet from their trunk and says, okay, now will you wear this? And they have the helmet there because we gave it to them, right? So it's just the relationships with the University Police Department, with the students, with the transportation office, anything that we can do just to be a resource versus, you know, being a problem. Yes?
Can you talk a little about your growth? Did you start off in that facility, or did you get the bootstrap, market financing?
Yeah, our growth is a little weird, and I'll try to make this a very short version. So in 2004, I actually got into like the wholesale and retail side, so we were doing both. We had started importing these like stand-up scooters that the college, or not college kids, but like just regular kids they had little 2-stroke pull start motors, and they would like zip around on them. And so we got like ATVs and generators and basically anything that had a motor from 2004 to 2006. I was selling a lot of this stuff on eBay, and I was actually in a partnership at the time, and he and I were doing this via eBay. So we had like this retail store and this wholesale side. It took off. We did $800,000 in sales our first year, and we did 2.8 million our second. So it went up really, really fast, and we thought we were doing amazing things. Kind of going back to culture and vision, my business partner and I were not on the same page. So at the end of 2005, beginning of 2006, we split, and I went all the way back to the ground, right? Ground zero. And at that point, in January 2006, I said, you know what? I'm gonna focus on retail. I'm gonna build the best retail dealership in the country, and that's what I put my mind to. And that's what we effectively did. I got completely out of the wholesale. There was a lot of things changing with EPA and stuff during that time. Not allowing these 2-stroke motors to come in without these certifications and that kind of thing. So again, you know, political landscape, everything, evolution, businesses are going to change, and you have to be able to pivot. You have to be able to evolve, and you got to be able to evolve quickly, because I mean, you can't. There's so many elements beyond our control sometimes. I mean, like kind of look at right now, like government. You know, we sell scooters that come out of China. We just got hit with the tariffs, right? Like our prices went up $200 per unit, right? Like, I mean, it's definitely impacting us. So, I mean, the good news for us is that I actually looked at that as an opportunity versus complaining like a lot of everyone else was doing. Because in our industry, everybody was complaining, right? And I said, well, you know what? I looked at my team and I said, you know what? This is great for us. You know why? Because we've never competed on price. We competed on customer service, right? All the businesses that were competing on price, they're the ones that are struggling. We're fine. We're still selling just as many scooters as we did last year.
What was that?
Huh? Last year, we sold right around 800 scooters. Yeah. It was a lot. To kind of give you guys you're talking about cash flow a little bit ago. You want to hear my cash flow roller coaster? In a month like this month, or last month, we might do like 30, 35 units. In August of 17, we did 311. Yeah, so it's like 25% of our revenue comes from August. Yeah, it's insane. Yes, sir.
I was wanting to ask, what's your markup on the scooters, and like, is most of your revenue from the scooters themselves or from the accessories that you sell?
Yeah, good question. I mean, it's a little all over the place depending on the brand. I mean, you look at like a scooter like a Vespa. You know, it's a lot of people see a $4,500 price tag and they think we bank. It's actually my lowest margin scooter. You know, like we don't make that great on a Vespa. And then on some of the others, it's a little bit greater. So, I mean, some of them can get up to 50%. Sales make up 70% of our business, and service is 20%. But that 20% is vital to us because it's what sustains us through the cash flow roller coaster of the year, because we're getting that income all year long. And then 10% is other stuff. So we do like storage. That was one of the most genius things that ever happened. You know, I had a parent say, "So Collin, what's my college student do with this when he comes home for the summer?" I was like, "He stores it with us, of course." Like, "Oh, what do you charge for that?" What do we charge for that? $150? All right, sounds good. And then now it's $350 because I realized that demand was super high for storage, and that's what happens. New opportunities blossom from, you know, just paying attention. Follow?
Sorry, but the reason I ask is because in the bicycle industry, markup is usually 100% on the bikes, but also a lot of the money that the bike shops make comes from just accessories, all the additional stuff, and that's markup 100% as well.
Yeah, on the accessories, like I said, that kind of falls into, I mean, as a macro business, like that's in the 10%, kind of up there with storage. It's not a huge revenue generator for us. I am kind of interested in what's happening in the bicycle world. Like even New Scooters for Less is kind of getting into a lot of the electric stuff right now. We have electric bicycles that we're selling, and I definitely think that's something that's going to grow, especially within a college market right now. There's a lot of focus on sustainability and being extremely, scooters are already green, they get 80 miles to the gallon, but you know, there's a lot happening in the electric world, so even we are dabbling in that space. So, there's a question over here? Yes.
That kind of answers a little bit, but I was wondering, because you're saying, you know, you've been maintaining your sales year over year, and you've been around for a long time now. It seems like it's kind of a saturated market. You've probably filled all the parking spaces that are available. How does the secondary market on the scooters affect it?
Man, that's spot on. So, thankfully, the University of Florida still keeps adding scooter parking. So thank you, UF, if you see this. Like, I love you. But yeah, it's funny because a lot of people ask me about competition. My biggest competition is the students that I sold scooters to 4 years ago that are now graduating. It's not my competition at all. They're not even close. Like, the students are my biggest competition. For us, it's being aware of that. Again, like, we are, you know, I take notice of those things and I go, okay, what can I do to get on top of that, right? And we've tried different things. We actually created a website that was called buymyscooter.com, where we tried to like facilitate being the middleman and making some income off those transactions and trying to facilitate those transactions. It was okay, like, but at the end of the day, we were losing to Facebook Marketplace because Facebook's just crushing everybody. So, you know, at this stage, what we do is, like, at the end of spring semester, you know, we tell these college students, like, hey, like, give us the first opportunity to buy your scooter back from you. So we'll try to buy up as much of that used inventory as possible, and then we will resell it. And there's lots of other things that we're looking into. Our biggest reason why we can't buy everything up is definitely cash. I mean, kind of going back to the cash flow roller coaster. At the end of the spring, we have to have enough cash. That storage revenue kind of gets us through right now as we go May, June, July until we get back to August. So, but yeah, it's definitely getting saturated.
Have you thought about renting them?
We have done scooter rentals. That, to me, kind of going back to liability stuff and headaches, like, that probably created more. I mean, it brought in revenue. It just wasn't enough to make it worth the headache. So we got rid of it. Yes?
So is the plan now to expand or sell or concentrate on your market?
You want to buy it?
No, maybe.
New Scooters for Less, still growing, which is great. We had our best year revenue-wise last year. I'll say it wasn't our best year profitability-wise, but that was because of some of the investments that we were making last year. the investments that, not to pivot off your question, but like a lot of people see like I have a camera here, like these kind of things. One of the best investments that I had made was creating content within our business, right? So as I showed you Innis for All TV, these videos, that has been really great for us. So those were the investments that were made. That's why it wasn't the most profitable year, but from a gross revenue standpoint, it was our best year. My plan at the moment, as of right this second, is to let my team run it. It makes good money, and we have big plans coming into the fall. And I'm now focused on the next revenue stream, which is through this media company. Just kind of give you a brief background on that. We created what we call a media unagency. And I say unagency because all the words started with un. They were unique, it was unorthodox. Like what we do as an agency, we focus on 3 primary pillars, and that's video, social media, and personal branding. We're not building websites. We're not spending a lot of time on SEO and these types of things. We're really helping companies create content and building their personal brand. That's an area where I could kind of leave off things. One thing I would encourage everybody to do is to continue to build your personal brand. And a lot of people are like, oh, what's your personal brand? Like, that's you. That's your brand. Yes, your resume, your bio, your portfolio, but it is so critical. Having CollinAustin.tv, that forwards directly to my YouTube channel. CollinAustin.com, that's my website where you can find my bio, my portfolio, my companies. I think it's extremely important in 2019 to focus on building your personal brand. And it just allows for more opportunity. So, yes.
What's your favorite scooter?
Favorite scooter? Oh man.
And why?
You're getting me in trouble because this is on camera and like my distributors see this. The best scooter is, in my opinion, for me, I would say like the Genuine Buddy or the Genuine Rough House. Genuine Scooter Company just puts out a high quality product. Price point like $2,500, like $2,600 right out the door. Has a really great resale value, gonna last through a college career, super like easy with low maintenance, and it's just a great unit. Like it's not, Vespa's like the Cadillac and the Mercedes, you know what I mean? Like Bentellis and Wolves, they're great economical scooters. It's kind of like your Kias. Like Genuine is like the Honda Accord of the scooter world. It's just gonna be a really good scooter. And what you get for the price, I think it can't be beat. So, any other questions, guys? Okay, great. Thank you so much for having me. Hey, that was awesome. Getting the opportunity to come and speak to the Veterans Entrepreneurship Program here at the University of Florida was a true honor. My dad is a veteran. He served in the United States Air Force, was a fighter pilot. I mean, and for me to be able to come back and just give a little piece of my time to help these aspiring entrepreneurs was just incredible. So I'm super grateful that they had me, and just want to say thank you to them. So we'll see you later. Bye.